And except for the ones that have censored us or already began removing our content, won't be able to find us there. But like picking and choosing gets removed and what's censored. So still try to tune in to wherever you're used to seeing it, because not everything is getting taken down, but stuff is getting taken down. So I explained like that I was working on transferring all of everything over to our Patreon.com and Rumble platforms. Uh, we see it not get censored at all on those platforms, and everybody just want to make sure that everybody continues to have unrestricted access to all this information, all this material, because it's there, folks, because it works. So we're still working on that. As far as litter goes and discussions, on the topic of cancer, all that information will still remain on our page on Facebook, Beating Cancer Today. So for the time being, I think they've only removed a couple of our posts so far on Facebook. Most of the censorship is on the other platforms, but we've got a couple removed off of Facebook. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay, because the material that needs there is still there. So I don't know if it's because of repurpose missing. It's getting more attention for its role in cancer treatment, or what the situation is. But it seems like I'm hearing more and more discussion about people open to the thought, just open to the idea of seeing treatment through repurpose medicine. I feel like the government and big pharma are not going to like that very, very much. So you can expect to see some dirty pool being made in the future. They're certainly going to make adjustments and whatever loopholes they could be found that will allow censorship or any type of suppression of the First Amendment, that will silence people. That should be anticipated, folks. They've even gone through lengths to actually create a word in the language that never did before. The word misinformation. They actually made that word up when they created it, and added it to the English language in an effort to give legal cause to censor people. And it's defined misinformation. I mean, if you look up, it's defined as what is inaccurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive. So it's defined as accurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive. That totally sounds like the nuh-uh, liar, pants liar. that's what it sounds like. Whenever there's no evidence to accuse somebody of lying, you just call them a liar, pants off, and then you walk away, and they have no chance to rebut that. So that's kind of what it sounds like. Boom, misinformation, you're done. It's like you get into a debate or exchange of dialogue, about one of these sensitive woke topics or whatever. All of a sudden, you just somebody shuts down the conversation and says, "Oh, you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or this or that," whatever, and they just shut conversation down without any the opportunity to have dialogue, like an intelligent exchange. We don't want that anymore, right? So we'll just go ahead and censor everything, stay everything, liar, pants fire. It's very one-dimensional. It sounds like the way of a coward, to be honest with you. When somebody just says information and walks away without giving any opportunity for a debate or refute or whatever, it really sounds like coward doing that. But again, I digress because I talked about it last week. That negativity will eat through you. So I digress in an effort to avoid negativity. So that's enough about that. All right, we'll just push forward. As a reminder, my disclaimer of not being a doctor, having zero medical or scientific training that applies here. I'm just a United States Marine who is battling stage 4 colorectal cancer. And after medicine had the options were exhausted and was sent home, I found success in taking repurposed medicine. Everything I take has been clinically proven with published medical studies. I didn't just pick stuff out of the blue. I wasn't trying to commit suicide. I wasn't crazy. No, everything that I'm doing has already clinically proven by the sources that they use as medical misinformation. I guess I don't know, but it's all been by major clinical institution. MD Anderson or Sloan Kettering or Mayo Clinic. Clinical trials were completed on every ingredient that is in my cocktail, right? And it took those clinical trials and everything that I saw was clinically proven with clinical evidence. And then I pair that up with the survivor testimony that I had some research and I located some people who are taking this stuff. So the survivor testimony coupled with the published medical studies, the clinical trials, major cancer institutions, that was this that I used to select my cocktail, right? And that is, a lot of fenbendazole based cocktails out there, little protocols that they call or whatever. And you know what? I'm sure they all probably work because especially if they're antiparasitic, like ivermectin or Fizol. I'm sure it all probably works because the star of the show is that antiparasitic, And so, but my personal cocktail was selected for different reasons. And the reasons I chose, it was all, I only chose the ingredients that had clinical trials and clinical evidence support that were effective in combating cancer. So those studies coupled with the survivor testimony, that's what I consider to be evidence of success. Okay, I am evidence of success. Next week I get a scan, right? So let's knock on wood. Next week I get a scan, I get all my stuff, all my testing done and stuff. I'll be at Moffitt Cancer Center for a while, so for a few days. So I'm just not really sure what the internet situation is going to be like. So stay tuned for more information about next week's episode. I'm not really sure how that's going to work out with the availability of access. When I'm at Moffitt Cancer Center getting testing. So, but we'll update you as the time gets closer on that. So through research, I have found evidence of a lot of things that are effective in the battle against cancer. There's so many things out there that are effective, are totally being overlooked. Not entirely overlooked because they were studied on by medical science, like people in the research industry. They were studied and proven to be effective. They're not completely being overlooked, but in general, they're being overlooked because after we're proven to be effective, now they're just being glossed over. So, however, in effort to streamline things, right? Like I can't be too scatterbrained. It goes back to man that jumped on the horse and rode off in every different direction. You can't. You can't go in so many directions. You just end up going in circles, right? So I just streamline it, and I had to break it down to a more direct approach. And by doing that, I limited myself to only 5 ingredients, right? And those 5 ingredients were the ingredients that I found to be the most logical because they all support each other, right? So in an effort to dumb down and simplify, streamline that thing, I had to dumb it down, or else I wouldn't be disciplined enough to do it consistently. Now going 2 years, right? So I had to limit the ingredients to number that I would be disciplined enough to take, and also so I had a controlled measurement of what I was taking. What I was putting in my body. All right, the 5 ingredients of what I call, kind of in a quirky, goofy way, as my cancer cocktail. And those 5 ingredients are fenazole, samidine, which is the active ingredient, but samidine is the actual ingredient. AHCC, which is a collection of mushrooms. That's active hexose correlated compound. Curcumin, which is an anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, and the active ingredient in turmeric, and the fifth ingredient being annatto. Annatto is one portion, the only beneficial portion of vitamin E. Vitamin E that complements the fenbendazole. So all of these 5 ingredients complement each other, and they all are taken or should be taken in concert, because even though fenbendazole is the star of the show, these other things work behind the scenes and do other things, and you could find everything they do and everything. It's in the featured section on my Facebook group page, Be Answer Today. So you could find all the benefits of each and every ingredient that I broke down. But I wanted to explain it to anyone who is considering taking the specific ingredients that are my cocktail, and reveal the logic behind why I selected each ingredient. Specifically, they're going to support a supportive clinical trial conducted by a major research institution on each and every different ingredient that was in my cocktail. You heard me say it before. All right. And with that logic, were the reasons that carry most weight, though. And you have to remember, when I started doing my research on the cocktail, right, I was arguably at a sickest point. The world was in the middle of a pandemic where beyond confusion was uncertainty as to whether someone with a compromised immune system would be able to survive contracting COVID, especially while being treated currently with chemotherapy. So I'm sure I had zero system, because at times they had to postpone my treatment and because my white blood count was too low. So that's an indicative of your immune system being completely shot, right? So for selecting an ingredient that supported the boosting of my immune system was also a consideration when decided to add active hexose compound, AHCC. When I decided to add AHCC into the mix, right? So what is AHCC, right? It's been around forever, since ancient times. Chinese, from ancient China, used to use it in their homeopathic treatments. It's been proven now actually to treat a wide range of health conditions for minor ailments like cold, flus, or serious disease like cancer, hepatitis, diabetes, cardiovascular disease. It's been shown to be effective in all of those things. Even as early as 3 or 4 months ago, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, they published on their website that AHCC is commonly used to combat cancer, stating, quote, AHCC may improve prognosis and prevent reoccurrence, end quote. It's crazy how one dietary ingredient can be effective in so many types of health problems. That's actually why I continue to learn about fenbendazole and in all of the incredible, even parallel illnesses that it's beneficial. It controls glucose levels. So could that be indicative of it being beneficial for diabetes? I don't know. These are just little things that are running around in my mind. There's a clinical trial on that somewhere. Maybe we should dig. I haven't even looked, but I'm just saying, it's a wonder. It's a wonder how all these things are coming to surface now. All this information. It's actually what I continue to learn about all these things. And initially one reason to take them, and I'm taking them. I'm committed to taking them. They work. Why would I stop taking it, right? So, but even though I'm still taking it, I'm learning about it. I had a reason to take it, and I have a reason to continue to take it. But I can just stay vigilant. Also, I still want to know more information. Not just what I'm taking, but the other things too. So, it's just systemic. These things, not even for illnesses. A lot of these things just they benefit me personally systemically, just as a systemic alignment and balancing of my body functioning. Things weren't so great after chemotherapy. My organs didn't talk to each other. So there was a communication failure in my body, and this kind of, honestly, it just seems like it put it back into whack. And all back into a good working order. So, what is dietary ingredient in HCC? It's mushrooms, baby. It's mushrooms. You've heard it. You've heard it your whole life. Mushrooms have great medicinal benefits. Well, mostly it's mushrooms. You could say it's a collection of mushroom extract derived from a collection of mushrooms. Depending on what brand you go with, they all claim to have anti-inflammatory benefits. It's immune system enhancing, and antioxidant properties. So with the claim of AHCC, I felt it was certainly worth digging deep into. If I'm going to start taking this and all these claims there, it does match up with all reasons why I wanted to start taking something. So it's worth digging deeper into, especially since I've always heard that mushrooms have been the key to solving so many ailments, in throughout the course of history, in different cultures. So I had to find more. When I started digging into it, I learned that AHCC is the most researched immune system supplement ever. Like all over the place, on the internet. The SEO is strong on that one, boy. I tell you, but when I was looking into it, I felt that it's actually good for so many things that I couldn't possibly cover it at all. I couldn't possibly cover it all here in this episode. So I'll limit things to just what are related to cancer, because That's what we're talking about, right? But I encourage everybody to check out the article that I posted in the featured section about AHCC on the group Beating Cancer Today on Facebook. You could read it for yourself. All benefits, that are beyond cancer. It's related to cancer. You may find out that it ties to an ailment, something that one of your loved ones would benefit from. Something that they're battling in their life that doesn't involve cancer. I don't know, but it's good material, and it's worth the read. So, but as it pertains to cancer, AHCC has been used with great success in cancer patients. Actually, the tune of over 100,000 cancer patients, individuals with various types of cancer, has shown AHCC to be a benefit of, and that's the, over 60% of the cases, particularly liver, stomach, lungs, colon, breast, thyroid, ovarian, testicular, tongue cancer, kidney cancer, pancreatic cancer, all the cancers. It was beneficial, in against those. So, excuse me. So I personally was taking AHC at this point, and I continue to take. It seems like when I was so sick, it's like when I was at like my worst point, like I was super duper sick, having all sorts of side effects from chemo and everything else. My body was completely falling apart. The AHCC seemed to systemically balance me. It was like a reset button. It allowed everything to regroup, and it just kind of it really started to systemically balance. My systems and body didn't feel like they were communicating with each other. Like the chemo, my relatives and my brothers and sisters, they used to ask, what is a chemo feel? And I couldn't point to something. I couldn't point to an area that it hurt. Really, it was just like I drank a bucket of battery acid. It was just melting like pouring over and melting my entire side, to the point where they wouldn't communicate. My organs wouldn't communicate with each other. I didn't know if I had to poop or grind. I had no idea. Like I just wasn't functioning right. So, and because of that, it really turns everything to nausea. This is why you don't feel well, right? So my lungs weren't communicating with my heart. My knees weren't communicating. My bladder. It was complete systemic interruption, and I just feel like AHCC actually put that into balance. So that's my testimony on it, right? It logically made sense to me, in the respect that it's an anti-inflammatory as well as an antioxidant. I know that inflammation contributes to the causation of cancer. So that was taken into consideration as well. Overall, AHCC, it's been suggested to enhance the process and quality of life in a variety of cancer. And that's really the most benefit that I saw, like while researching and stuff. Every different institution or whoever was publishing or was reading at the time, all said, well, it's the quality of life. That's not a reason for me to take it. That's not a reason for me to complicate my life with taking more pills. So it's got to be better than just a quality of life. There's got to be some sort of science behind it. So it's very important to be effective for the side effects of chemotherapy, which I just explained about, right? But why would I taking it after chemotherapy if it's just for a quality of life? There's other things I get for quality of life, So, it's been proven to reduce tumor growth and support the response to the medications that you're taking, right? So, like I was taking chemo, it's supposed to actually open up your body to receive the chemo back, right? It enhances the reception of the chemo, but and it's supposed to aid in your response to the medication, right? Well, while raising the body's immune system, that's what I was looking for, because remember at the time I selected that it was the COVID thing and all that, so I was going through chemotherapy. I wanted to boost my immune system. I didn't even know about the benefits it had with chemotherapy. So keep that in mind too. I learned about this other stuff. Coincidentally, it was good for all the other stuff. I was taking it for something else. I think that I think that's how Viagra was discovered for erectile dysfunction, because I mean, it was in, and somebody accidentally discovered something else. Well, I was taking the stuff for my immune system, and lo and behold, and later on, it also helps. Where was it? Read right off the study. To produce tumor growth and support the response to medication. So, well, raising your body's immune system, it might help. The body, the natural defense mechanism to fight it off. The disease. Certainly, it helps. It promotes your immune system to help your defenses target and eliminate the cancer cells. So that's like theory behind it. I don't know. I mentioned earlier about the antioxidant properties, right? Which means that they can help neutralize free radicals, right? The free radicals in your body, those are what contribute to cellular damage. So, including mutations you've heard me talk about before, that may lead to cancer. Antioxidants help protect cells for all of that damage. It's pretty huge. You hear of antioxidant properties and a lot of foods, superfoods, this and that, antioxidant properties. You never really realize what they do or what it actually means. I mean, I always knew it was good, but I just really didn't know. So at the end of the day, right, after all my digging, I was able to determine that there are benefits that exist in the battle against cancer when it comes to AHCC. Supplement by itself is not going to be the magic bullet, the cure all, for cancer. However, it does reduce inflammation, as well as having antioxidant properties, and your immune system, literally creating a reason to feel good. And when you feel good, your quality of life is so much better by reducing fatigue and improving your appetite and supporting overall well-being. Well, I mean, that's not bad for cancer. That's not bad for cancer, but certainly I need more. All right. So if I'm going to add this into my cocktail, it's got to be better. All right. So it's certainly not automatic. However, put this ingredient along next to the other ingredients in my cocktail, you'll find that it cozies up quite nicely in concert with the other ingredients when it comes to complementing and supporting the main ingredient of fenbendazole. So, folks, please remember, this podcast is only as good as the masses that it's able to reach. So please share this site with your friends, and ask those friends, share it with friends. because they probably have more friends than you. This way, we'll be able to grow that platform and get this message out to somebody who really needs to hear it. This information could save lives, and that's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Each one of you guys that are listening and participating on the group page, each of you have a responsibility to pay it forward. I mean, don't you remember how you felt when you found this information? When you found site or video, whatever you're looking for? Don't you remember how desperate you felt? Think about the people that are in that position. Don't ever forget desperate feeling that brought you to the page. Sing brought you here. And if you're anything like me, when I started really doing some deep digging, that was when I was desperate. So there's a reason why you found this information. I just asked that you remember the feeling that you had inside your stomach, inside your heart, the thoughts that you had in your brain, the desperation and hopeless. It's incumbent upon us to share the information, grow this network, and try to save somebody else's life, because something happened in your life that brought you here. As always, listen, you can reach out to me at any time on Messenger DM, or you could email me at beatingcancertoday@gmail.com. If you have any questions about my protocol, or what I call my cancer cocktail. But before you go through all the trouble, some time and look at the Facebook page, right? There's a lot of answers on there. There's a lot of answers on there that you may not have the question. You may not have the question yet, but you'll find more answers than there are questions page. So some of these, some information, there's a lot of information that on there that hasn't been removed so far. There's also the videos that might pique your interest for a parallel reason, something that might have it, maybe somebody or whatever, right? So that point, the point being, is you must stay vigilant. Okay, you gotta stay vigilant and continue building yourself into gladiator. And remember that gladiator's strength lies not just in the sword, but in the resilience of the spirit. We'll see you next week.